Hello and welcome back. I've got an interesting subject to talk to you about today. This is me going back into the materials that I produced almost 20 years ago when I began my sort of spiritual awakening, and at that time I came across Conversations with God with Neale Walsch, and I wrote this article about it, and I came across it today and I thought it was excellent, and I thought it was a good starting point for me then, and it may be the kind of information you need to receive right at this minute, and it's well worth sharing. It's good channeled information really to help us in our life. So these are some highlights from Conversations with God, and you can take it further if you like the information that I'm going to put to you today. Then there are, I believe, 3 books and probably a lot more now, a lot of content, because he's very active in the spiritual community and he does a lot of really good work. Okay, so I'm going to put my glasses on again and we're going to go into this in more detail. So this is the background story to how Neale Walsch started his spiritual journey, started his awakening. So one night Neale Walsch felt suicidal. His relationship with his partner had broken down and he truly felt that life was no longer worth living. In an attempt to work through his feelings, he picked up a notepad and a pen and he started writing to God. He wrote it all down, his pain, his frustration, his anger, and finally he asked, "My God, what do you want from me?" He was about to put down the pen and paper, but something stopped him, and it was then that he heard the voiceless voice. Ooh, I got a shiver there. It began as a whispering in his right ear, and he felt a wonderful sense of calm come over him. The voiceless voice said, "Do you really want to know the answers, or are you just venting?" He replied, "I am just venting, but if you have the answers, I'd really like to hear them." And so it began, a remarkable and wonderful conversation with God. There are so many topics covered during that conversation that it would be impossible to touch on them all in this video. But to whet your appetite, I've chosen a few of the concepts discussed that night, which I believe will help you on your own journey. One of the main teachings Neale learned that night was a very simple concept, namely that we're all one. There is no you and me, for that would imply that we were separate. That would imply that we were different. That would imply that one of us might be better than the other. We are 2 parts of the same thing. When you grasp this fundamental truth, your whole viewpoint undergoes a dramatic change. You realise that what you do for another, you do for yourself. You realise what you give to another, you give to yourself. When you walk into a room, whether it's full of people or empty, you need to understand there's only one person in the room. To help clarify this, I'll repeat an extract from Neale's conversation. "In the beginning, there was all that is, and all that there was..." I better start again. "And all that there is was all that there was, and there was nothing else. There was nothing else except all that there is, and it was very good. But all that there was, and there was nothing else, sought to know itself in its own experience, but it could find nothing outside of itself, because there was nothing outside of itself. How then to know itself? So that which we call God looked within in order to know itself. And God saw the magnificence of that for which it searched, and it imploded into billions of different parts, going here and there and up and down and left and right and fast and slow and big and small. These were all suddenly created in that first thought that produced God in all its elements. And each of the elements of God could look back at the rest and say, "Oh my God, how wondrous thou art." Oh, this is very difficult to read because the truth in that has put hackles all over my body and the energy around me is absolutely buzzing. It's wonderful. I just feel so blessed. If we want to experience true abundance in our lives, we too should go within. If we do not go within, we will have to go without. It's very clever. Another of the teachings Neale received that night reveals how powerful we all are. We have each been given all the necessary tools to create the life we want to experience. Unfortunately, most of us don't realise that we have these tools or how to use them. We've all been given 3 tools: our thoughts, our speech, and our actions. Everything you think, say, or do produces an energy vibration. Your thoughts, words, and deeds are pure energy and have the power of creation. The lightest form of energy is thought. This means it will take an awful lot of thought about something to make it so. The more time you spend thinking about something, the more likely it is to occur. And therefore, if you have a negative thought, you would be wise not to give it a second thought. It's very powerful. A slightly denser form of energy is speech. As you speak, so it will be done. Every word you utter out of your mouth is released as energy into the cosmos and eventually takes form. If you say something often enough and long enough, it will come to pass. When 2 or more people say the same thing, I assure you that it will happen. When a group of people all say the same thing, then it must come to pass. That is why the world is as it appears today. At this point, I'm going to mention another mentor, Lynn McTaggart, The Power of 8. She's doing fantastic work. She's the author of The Field, which is just kind of mind-exploding body of work that she's based on science again. She does work with Greg Braden. Very powerful. So she's focused a lot at the moment on this, the power of a number of people gathered together. And you see that in some of these other big prayer circles, group healing ceremonies. Very, very potent, much more than, taking one person and multiplying it by the number that are in the room. If that number all have a common goal, a common intention, a common prayer, then it magnifies exponentially. Huge. It can be incredible, produce incredible results. Okay, the densest form of energy creation is through action. This energy is very heavy and very real, and even the slightest touch can create magic. Therefore, the most visible and immediate results can be achieved through taking concrete action. I read this at the very right time in my life. I was going through a lot of changes at that point, and I was getting in a very unhappy situation. I've had a hell of a life. But I remember coming across this information at that time and knowing that I wanted to make change and I would have to take action. And I did take the action and I did create change, and I don't regret it. So it's very powerful when you get fed up of affirmations and writing things out and journaling and saying things and all this stuff that people tell you to do to make your life better. When you get fed up with that, if it's not happening quick enough for you, you got to bite the bullet and just do stuff. Just take steps, and it speeds it up. Stuff starts happening sometimes uncomfortably fast, but stuff will start happening. Action. Most of the time we think about doing something, then we talk about doing it, then we actually do it. This is a very time consuming process, and if we want to speed things up, we must turn it on its head. Take, for example, the idea that we would like to have more money. Yes, please. Most of the time we go around thinking we don't have enough money. We tell everyone we're so broke this month, we count our pennies, and we deny ourselves the things we want to buy because we know we haven't got enough money. What you should do is start behaving as if you've got plenty of money. And by doing this, you send out a message to the universe which says, see, I have so much money, I can give it away. I can spend it without a moment's worry. The universe then kindly makes it so. The universe never says no to your thoughts about yourself. It will only grow them. I'm really playing about these energies at the moment. Following my passions, investing in what speaks to me, finding the money, juggling things, and basically throwing the gauntlet down to the universe and saying, back up your teachings with reality. And so far it's working out. I am out of that poverty mindset. I'm in an empowered place financially. I feel I am in the heart of abundance. Abundance in all things flows to me and through me and to others. And I have a lot of trust and faith in the universe that I'll always be looked after and provided for, and that I should, if something is calling to me, then I am free to pursue that thought, irrespective of funding. Now, what you should do is start behaving as if you've got plenty of money. By doing this, you can send out a message to the universe that says, see, I've just read that, I apologise. If you want to experience abundance, you must help someone else to experience abundance. I do believe in that. If you want to feel loved, you must help someone else feel loved. You must become the source of that which you desire. You must become resourceful. Ooh, very deep. No matter how poor you think you are, you will always be able to find someone with less. That's very sad but true. The reason you will always be able to find someone with less is that your soul will create them in your life in order for you to experience helping them. You must never feel pity for anyone and never act out of pity. Your actions should be carried out from love, compassion, and empathy. You must realise that this poor soul who stands before you has forgotten who and what they are. But you have not, and you should recognise in them their magnificence, and you should reach out to them with kindness and compassion in order that they might remember also. It is at this point that you should remind yourself that there is only one person in the room. We're all so confused when it comes to the subject of money. We think of it as mine or yours, and we fail to realise it is simply a form of lubrication which empowers us to be, do, and have something we want in our life. Money is energy. It's just an energetic tool. It's not a finite resource. It's the sparkles that we manifest into money. It's actually infinite. We just need to learn to know that it's there. It's like reaching up and turning it into creation and manifesting it. Money should never be saved for a rainy day. It should be kept in motion. That's how money works. You're creating a vacuum, you're spending it, you're moving it, you're giving it, you're sharing it, you're using it, you're making it work, and other money will flow to you, because that's the mechanism we have on the earth plane here in the Western world, money. So, you should be using it. You shouldn't be hoarding it, because that just blocks up that whole flow of energy. It's a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what you've got, because you're not letting any more in. You're not using it as its intended purpose. It's just a tool. Think of money as a gift to you from the universe to do every good thing for yourself and others that you would want to. We spend so much of our money on nonsense, and yet when someone rattles a charity can at us in the supermarket, we think we're being generous if we give them £1. Why not give them £10? Or get your chequebook out and write a cheque for £100? Why not give them, if there's some aspect of your life which actually does make sense to you, for God's sake, support it. If you agree with what someone is trying to do, then help them do it. Remember, the quickest and most immediate way to change the world is through concrete action. That's something very powerful. I do remember getting that message, and it's something I have tried to hold on to in my everyday life, when gosh, it's so tough on people that want to make a difference and that they are out there collecting for charity or starting petitions or gathering food donations or trying to tidy up a beach, or they get this wonderful, genuine, kind-hearted desire to make a difference in whatever way they're capable of doing, and they look out to the world. There's a chap at the minute, it's called The Spring, and this chap is getting £10 a month donations from as many people as possible, and he's doing quite well, and he is putting clean water everywhere in the world where they don't have access to clean water. He's changing lives in such a beautiful way, and he's doing it by motivating thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. I think he's trying to get 1 million people to donate £10 a month, and in a relatively short space of time he's going to be able to put clean water everywhere in the world where it's lacking, and save millions of people from dying horrible deaths and living horrible lives of a terrible, terrible low quality. And that's the power of the many coming together. But I hear so many people being so skeptical about what other folk are trying to do. You can help people so easily. I try and do it. I try and just live my life very abundantly. If they're collecting for a raffle, I look about and I say, what don't I need? What gift have I been given that I'm not going to use? And I give it to people, and sometimes they're a wee bit dumbstruck. They're like, oh really, this is very expensive perfume, or you got a bottle of something that I don't drink. If you come across it, sometimes I get free gifts of wine or whatever when I'm ordering food, and you think, just take it. Other people might sell it, jewellery, whatever. Just take it. As if it's no use to you. If you're finished with it or you can't use it and someone else needs it and they're trying to do something worthy, then for God's sake, support them. Support them, and don't be tight about it. Don't be weighing things up. If you're able to help, then help in any way you're able. If you haven't got funds, then help in a more physical, tangible way. Take some leaflets or pass on, or collect raffle tickets, or get sponsorship, or donate things, or roll up your sleeves and go and help them. Knit jumpers. Get behind people that are trying to help other folk and help them, because it can be very dispiriting. If you're trying to do something and you see so many people turning their backs and walking past you, and ignoring your efforts to do something good. We have to get behind these people, all these brave souls, Trussell Trust and stuff, that are helping people in schools. Just give them a helping hand. If you're able to help as many people as you can, you're not going to be penalised for that by the universe. If you're reaching out and helping someone, let them, the universe will send you money back. It's a dynamic, it's an energy dynamic, and you have to be in that flow of abundance with the world. It's very, very powerful when you start thinking this way. Whenever I look and I see people making an effort, I try and support them. I try and support them in any way I can. And sometimes the little bit of support that you give to someone can be the difference between them carrying on or giving up. So bear that in mind. And sometimes you're the one that's trying to do something, and you need the support from other people. I have tried, oh gosh, I can't tell you how many times, to start a little business or do something for charity, and it really crushes the spirit a bit when the lack of support from anybody, and you have to say, you know, I can't do this on my own. I can't do it. All I can do is have the creation of the idea and the desire to do it, and put the mechanisms in place, and then put it out to you. And if the world ignores it and doesn't pick up and run with it, then you can't take it any further, and that's very sad and crushing to people. So if you have someone round about you trying to, you know, start a crafting business so they can earn some money and get out of a bad relationship, or into better accommodation, or help their disabled children, or, you know, that type of situation, and you're able to help in any way, any small way, even if you can't contribute in a financial way, you can share their website. You know, you can recommend somebody, you can flag up, you know, you can open a window, an energetic window for them, as I said. You can just refer someone to them. You can help people. You can donate stuff to charity. Every small act of kindness like that will ripple out in the world and uplift the people who are soldiering away, the sort of unsung heroes that we've got out there, all doing their own little things to make a difference in the world and help people. It's just a thought, you know, and I got that from Neale Walsch, and reading his books, and what he said about, if you see something that makes sense to you, then for God's sake support it. And I try and live my life that way, and I think I put that suggestion to you as well. If you see somebody that makes sense, then for God's sake support them. You know, otherwise they might give up. We don't want that. Okay, it's a bit heavy, isn't it? So I'll stop there, and leave that with you to marinate up there in your mind, and I'll be back soon with some more information. Okay, God bless. I send you much love and healing. Talk again soon. God bless.